My parents fight about the dumb stuff.
Don't give me that you put a towel up. I just don't understand why you chose that one.
Is this one of those towels that we're not supposed to put up? It's decorative. We just admire it. We look at it. It doesn't have a function.
Okay. No, look. You
Some
have
things
all
out.
these
Doesn't
choices.
work.
You have all these choices, but you've like got Santa on the mind or something. We live on the surface of the sun. I just don't.
It doesn't say festive to me. It's a towel that happens to be green and
And now
red.
you know what the word festive means. I'm out of town for the kids' Christmas program, and I ask you to put the kids in festive clothing. You put them in neon.
And they had a great time. And I actually got a lot of compliments from other parents with how they were.
Babe, people felt bad for you. When are red and green ever together where it's not Christmas?
You're a bully. You know that
See?
I'm colorblind.
Like, are there any sports teams that are red and green?
Yes.
Name one.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
A smelly fish. And it's not a cod.
And now it's time to play everyone's favorite game that I just invented called Is It Rage Bait? It's when we take a video from TikTok and try to determine if this is a legitimate argument between a married couple or a skit to get clicks and exposures from schmucks like me on the internet. And what a doozy we have for our first round. Here we have a wife chewing out her husband for not putting out the correct dish towel on the oven handle. Now, as we all know, a decorative dish towel is just like a nice rug. It really ties in the kitchen together. So even though I do believe that there are wives out there who will challenge their husbands into a battle royale with machetes for not choosing the correct towel, what are the odds that someone would be there to record said argument at just the right time? And though I will agree, modern wives will relentlessly rip into their husbands for dressing their kids in the coolest color scheme of the early 90s, fight me on that one, I don't care. But if that was the case, I like to think that the wife would be throwing the camera in her husband's face. She wouldn't be able to help herself. She'd find any excuse to look like a victim. That and the lighting is just a little bit too perfect for comfort. So I think we can safely say that yes, this is indeed rage bait, but it's also rage bait that I find horrifyingly plausible.
It's a fake.
Marriage is one of the greatest scams placed on women. They really got into our heads, manipulated and brainwashed us to think that this is what we love. This was going to be good for us. We were going to be happy doing this. Having a man in our bed, constantly having access to our body so that he could use for his selfish reasons. He goes to work, builds his career while I stay home, do slave labor. That isn't giving me any kind of investment in myself. But I'm supposed to be happy.
Oh, really?
Woman, I don't think it's a smart idea to pretend like you're a marriage expert when the closest thing you've ever had to a relationship was when that hobo accidentally touched your hand on the bus 13 years ago. Nothing you said makes any sense at all. First off, you're not marrying a man who's building his career. You're the kind of woman who's gonna wait for him to fully develop his career and then swoop in and pretend like you supported him the whole time. Second, if you're waiting until marriage to find something that fulfills you in life, then that man has married a complete and utter failure. Third, judging your imaginary husband for wanting to have bedroom fun with you is kind of mean-spirited and extremely manipulative, especially when you're about as warm as a bowl of oatmeal that's been left out on the counter overnight. And finally, you're not doing slave labor. You're doing the exact same thing you've been doing for the last 35 years of your life, except now it's in the home of a man who's providing you with said life. You'd be better off just saying you're incapable of doing dishes and leaving it at that. We all get it, especially that hobo. After touching your hand, he scrubbed as hard as he could in a mall bathroom, and he still couldn't scrub away your filth.
They're constantly thinking what they can get out of the world, from their business, from their job, from you. But the moment we speak up and say, hey, Mr. Man, what are you going to give to me? What's in it for me? We're selfish. We're not feminine. We're not nurturing. We're not loving. That's called guilt tripping. Any form of guilt tripping, be wary of that person. They're trying to get something from you that isn't theirs to take.
Say what now, what now?
You could drop the act now, sister. That man is not guilt-tripping you. He's just being honest. You're not a kind, nurturing, warm, or even worth 3 seconds of a self-respecting man's time. It's not about what's in it for you. You're gonna demand everything you want without any form of compromise. The question is, how much do you expect your husband to sacrifice to make your whims a reality? You expect that man to sacrifice his time, his energy, and his body into doing everything for you, and if that man wants to feel close to you in bed, then you just think he's a selfish pig who's using you. Even though you complain about cooking, cleaning, and doing the bare minimum, that won't stop you from ripping into this man every chance you get. You need to face the facts, lady. Legally, you're an adult. Looks-wise, you're definitely showing signs of ripe crust. But in the mental department, you are a spoiled child. And children throw temper tantrums, lie, and guilt trip others when they don't get what they want. You're really in no position to judge anyone, sister.
We're done with guilt tripping, manipulation, lies. At the end of the day, we are trying to survive, and sometimes it is beneficial to live with somebody. But we're not bitches because we ask, what's in it for me? Because if there isn't anything in it for me, we should be able to say no. Super excited for the world that's coming, where we have robots to watch over us. We won't need men in our house. We'll have everything at our fingertips, ladies. Men can be something that is for enjoyment, if we actually enjoy you.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Okay, we can see that this woman's taste in movies is just like her taste in filters. Terrible and devoid of any semblance of class. If you ask any self-respecting man worth his salt, he'll tell you that robots are generally a bad thing. Be it Ash from Alien, Robert Patrick from Terminator 2, or Christian Bale as Batman, being served by robots is only one thing, and that is the exact opposite of good. But robot overlords notwithstanding, I have to ask you, woman, why, in the name of the intergalactic space god Zulafort, all hail, are you even complaining in the first place? You got what you want. Nobody wants to marry you. Secondly, you're still going to be a schnook because you're going to have to work every single day, as a single income household is virtually impossible in the West, namely thanks to your irresponsible voting tendencies. And finally, because nobody wants to marry you, you can live your single boss bae Yas Queen lifestyle until your heart's content and then some. And all it cost you was your soul, your personality, your ability to be able to bond with men, your looks, your kindness, your self-worth, and your intellect. But the jury's still out on that one because I'm not convinced you have any. So quit complaining. You're free to go work yourself stupid just as your billionaire human overlords intended. Just like you wanted.
You're welcome. Hey, you're welcome. Hey, don't mention it. Use that freedom in any way you like.
Over the past few days, some of you have been spreading rumors that I have fake boobs. And worse, some of you have been spreading rumors that I was cool in high school. So I figured I would disprove both of those. This is me at 14. At 15, yikes. At 16, look at me growing them myself. At 17, some of you wish you could have abs like that. By 18, I was eating you up. 19, oh my god. 20, that face card is in. And now we have today. I know they're perfect, but clearly I had to pay the price in terms of bad haircuts.
You think those are real?
This actually brings up an interesting point. Who were the cool kids in high school? Now for me, it was totally the hardcore Magic the Gathering hobbyists. I'm telling you, those dudes would show up to the lunchroom with their boxes of pre-made decks, just slamming down mana cards and artifacts as if they were the kings of Dookie Mountain. Tried to get into Magic the Gathering, but every time I tried, I was told that I was too cool to be playing. And then somebody told me I should try to bring back Pogs, which might have been a noble effort if I wasn't immediately suspended from school for trying, which I think is a shame, because when you think about it, Pogs are the ultimate deterrent. They're cheaper than Magic cards, twice as durable, and when you have the right kind of slammer, it's way more satisfying than just placing cards on a table and taking 20 minutes to complete your turn, because I know they stacked the dumbass decks to make sure that they could do 13 consecutive attacks to try to take me out of the game before I even had a chance to lay down a single forest card. Seriously, Damien, I tell you to go screw your mother, but I already knew you dug up the corpse and did it twice that morning. I got off track. What was I talking about again? Oh, right. We need to bring back Pogs, like yesterday.
Hell yeah! Good men exist. They are out there. And I need you to realize that if you put out the energy of every man is a manipulator, a cheater, a POS, so on and so forth, if you put that energy out there, you are going to attract men that are those kinds of people. I think it's safe to say that almost every woman I've ever met, including myself, has been cheated on and treated poorly by a man. However, That should not change your perception of the man that you want to attract into your life.
Show a little respect. So, how many men have you slept with?
I find it absolutely amazing how this woman can both say that there are good men out there and yet act like they are the rarest thing on the planet. What you see as a good man is not only incredibly rare, it's borderline impossible. There are plenty of good men out there. The only problem is that those men tend to belong to the exclusive club known as the dreaded bottom 95%. You're looking for an honest, loyal, and hardworking man, but with the body, the finances, and the virile prowess of your everyday Chad. That's why you're finding yourself acting like these men are rare. That's because that particular brand of Chad is. Meanwhile, you blame the bottom 95% for all the damage that the bad boys caused you because apparently we're the problem with society. Even though most of us are too busy hanging out at Skeeter's house, where we're coming up with the ultimate combat style that combines Muay Thai with Nerf blasters. It needs a little bit more polish, but it's cooler than Gun Fu and way more plausible than finding a fiercely loyal Chad.
Do the healing work. Focus on bettering yourself and nurturing yourself again and getting back on your feet. But also put the energy out there that there is a man out there that is going to love you the way that you deserve, treat you the way that you deserve, and see your worth and never let any other man have the opportunity to even come into your life. These men exist and they are out there. But again, if you are continuously saying all these negative things, you're just going to attract negative. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of men out there that might not be the best kind of guy, but you should see the warning signs and say, okay, I know when to get out of this. I know when not to get too attached, and I could end that relationship or end that whatever before it gets too serious. As someone who is single, I am so hopeful for the man that I meet because I know my values, I know my morals, I know what I have to offer and what I bring to the table, and I know that there's going to be a man that sees me one day and is going to be like, I don't want any other man to come into your life or even be able to talk to you.
Maybe we ought to just videotape this, play it back in slow motion.
And what exactly are you doing to make this happen, sweetheart? You have zero excuse to be single right now. If you wanted to, you could go out and talk to an average dude and have a fairly high success rate of getting a phone number and even a nice date out of the deal. But we all know that's never gonna happen, and that's because you do not want a good man. That's the kind of man you'll settle for when you have about 4 eggs left in the tank. But that's not who you want. You want the perfect man, and that's a man who only exists in romance novels and in that boring, redundant excuse you call an imagination. You're over the age of 30 and you're still expecting a soulmate, but here's a question. You're claiming you know your worth and that you've completed your healing journey and other new age word salads that are meaningless, but if that was the case, then why are you still single? You say you know your value and what you bring to the table, and you would think that would make men flock to you if that was the case. But if Sagat Wick is clearly uninterested, then it must be because you offer these men only one thing.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
Because I need you in my life. I want you in my life. I see that you bring value to my life and I see a potential future with you and I want to explore that. I know that that's coming, and I think by having this mindset, I will attract that man. So do the work. Do the healing work. Be alone for a bit. I've been alone for almost 2 years. It's fine. It's good to have those moments alone. But now I know what I deserve. Now I know what I'm willing to tolerate. I know the red flags. I know the warning signs. I know what I deserve, and I know how to treat a man. And when you know that, how do you lose? How could you lose? Because the right man will never give you up. The right man will never let you go. And if he does, he's not the right guy.
Great plan.
Thank you.
He likes your plan, Chief.
To answer your question, you lose because you made poor choices. You've been single for 2 years after choosing terrible men over and over again. And that's because you're only attracted to a certain kind of man, and if that man shows any interest in you, you'll ignore every single one of those red flags with the desperate hope that he will want to make an honest woman out of you. But this raises yet another question, lady. How can anyone make an honest woman out of you when all you do is spew out lies? You've clearly done zero work on yourself, you don't know how to treat a man properly, and you have no idea what you bring to the table outside of some spoiled milk and spiritual gibberish. All you're doing is sitting around and waiting for things to happen instead of you going out there and putting in the work to make things happen for yourself. That's how life works, sister. You've given up control of your own life and just assuming everything will come your way for no reason. I hate to break it to you, sister, but if you want a man like that to be in your life, you kind of sort of have to prove yourself to him. And from the looks of it, you can't even look at yourself in the mirror without a sheer amount of denial. So what makes you think that you're going to have a chance with a self-respecting man? I'll give you a hint because you're too deep in denial to care. You don't. And that is going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell and leave a couple of comments, and make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.